ultimately the buck stops with the President of the United States of America, which is why I made clear to President Trump yesterday in my correspondence that the Secretary of Defense should be fired immediately if he's not man enough to own up to his mistakes and resign in disgrace.
House Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries on Wednesday saying that the buck stops with President Trump as calls for his defense secretary's resignation are mounting. The pressure on Pete Hegseth comes as we learn about more potential unsecured chats, signaling a total lack of intelligence. Where there's smoke, folks, there's usually fire. Back with me are Helene Cooper, Mark Polyramopoulos, and Mary McCord. Helene, does the secretary have the confidence of the folks within the Pentagon?
No, he doesn't. I don't think he had it before he arrived. Somebody said to me today that he's the most unqualified Secretary of Defense the country has had. And this was somebody from within the Pentagon saying that. Keep in mind, Pete Hegseth was approved by the Senate on the barest of margins to begin with. J.D. Vance had to come in and break the tie. It was a 50-50 vote, and he could not have lost any more Republicans at the time. So all the Democrats voted against him. So he doesn't have the confidence of Congress, but he certainly does not have the confidence of the men and women of the military. He has the confidence of a select group of what he calls warriors, and he's all about war fighters or warriors, and he's very much embraced the special operations community. But even there, a lot of those men, and to a lesser extent women, there are fewer women in this community, make fun of him. There are all these chat rooms. There's a lot of, he's not really, he pretends he's a special ops guy, but he's not really. And what you saw with this signal chat group is just what confidence there was among the men and women of the military in him is, I think, very much much lowered. But at the end of the day, he serves at the pleasure of the president. So unless President Trump comes out and says, I don't want you for defense secretary, I don't think it's going to matter whether where it will matter will be in recruiting, and will be in, you'll probably see more people leaving the military. You'll see more retirements. You'll see earlier retirements. You'll see earlier people not re-enlisting. And that's where I think you'll start seeing the numbers later on.
Speaking of the president, I mean, he and Josh Hawley just continue to blame this all now on a staffer. I'd like to play for folks what the president and Hawley have said.
And what it was, we believe, is somebody that was on the line with permission, somebody that was with Mike Waltz, worked for Mike Waltz at a lower level, had, I guess, Goldberg's number or called through the app. And somehow this guy ended up on the call.
The president was clear about it. Some staffer who apparently set up the group chat, I assume that person probably won't be in charge of meetings anymore.
Mark, this just goes far beyond a group chat, an encrypted app. This is about the very machinery, I would argue, of our national security. This is about if our allies are going to continue to trust us with their most sensitive information. The Wall Street Journal is reporting today that Israel supplied intelligence in the airstrike that was discussed in the Signal chat. Shortly after the U.S. strikes began, Waltz texted that a key target of the attacks, a Houthi missile expert, had been seen entering his girlfriend's building, which he said had been destroyed. Israeli officials complained privately to U.S. officials that Waltz's text became public, one U.S. official said. Mark?
Well, the Israelis are pissed, rightfully so. This is, of course, not the first time that the Trump administration has divulged Israeli intelligence. If you remember, in the first Trump administration, they did the same during a famous Oval Office meeting where Trump talked about something he shouldn't have that was derived reportedly from Israel. But the Israelis are pissed because they're seeing that the U.S. has no credibility in keeping this information that is provided secret. And that's really important. You know, we have to understand, and this goes to the whole issue of our partnerships and how they're fraying, but the U.S. really relies in the intelligence world on information that helps us, catch spies, catch terrorists, stop weapons proliferation, and we rely on that from our partners. And if they can't trust us, they're not going to give us that anymore, and that makes Americans less safe. I think this, this comes down to the notion of our leadership in the intelligence community and the DoD are lying. When you walk in, Simone, to CIA headquarters, on the right is the famous memorial wall where there's stars where our officers were killed in the line of duty, but on the left, there's a phrase from the Bible etched in stone, and it says, "And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free." And that's the notion of honesty and integrity. In our leadership, both the DoD and in the IC are violating that by simply lying right now. And I think that's really damaging.